Welcome to the Startup Millionaires Podcast. On Startup Millionaires, Kevin Harrington, Seth, Greene, and Ray Blanco interview the CEOs and founders of amazing startups ready to explode and change the world. Listen in to discover how these amazing tiny companies can bring massive wealth opportunity to you. For the latest profit-packed startup opportunities on Kevin, Ray, and Seth's radar, go to startupmillionaires.com.
Welcome to the Startup Millionaires Podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. I am joined by our chief analyst from Seven Figure Publishing, Ray Blanco. Ray, thanks so much for being here.
Hi, everybody.
We're joined by the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on the hit TV show Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington.
Great to be here, Seth. Thank you.
We're joined by Ben Berman of Republic, the crowdfunding equity platform that's taken the world by storm.
Hey, everyone. Good to be here as well.
And today, our very special company and guest that we are interviewing is Danny from Salsa God. Danny, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's dive right in. Danny, for those of our folks who haven't been familiar with your company yet, I see it in the background. What is Salsa God?
So Salsa God is a sort of better-for-you snack brand food company. We launched in 2016, and we specialize in Mexican salsas, and now we've released our newest product, which is a chips and salsa combo pack.
So why did you get into, I know there's a story behind how you got into the salsa making business. Can you give us the short version?
Sure. So the short version is I grew up in West Texas eating Mexican food and chips and salsa all my life, and I found myself living abroad in Paris, France, where there is absolutely no salsa. So while I was living abroad, I called some family relatives and got some recipes and started tinkering around with it. And over the 3.5 years, I sort of perfected my recipe. And when I moved back to the States, I'd always have dinner parties and barbecues where the salsa was available, and people kept asking me where they could buy it. So sort of, why not throw my hat into the ring and give this a shot?
That's awesome. So this is a hobby or a personal interest that turned into a business idea. What was, do you think, the catalyst that got you thinking about this more as a business idea than as something you do at home?
So that's a good question. I was sort of just doing this at home on the side while I was working in finance, and I decided to exhibit at a food trade show called the Summer Fancy Food Show. And on day one, a Whole Foods buyer approached me and said they loved the product and wanted to put it in the store. So that sort of got the wheels really turning. And I said, yep, let's go for it.
Yeah, so there's a big difference. So I was going to say, what's the difference between, lots of people make their own recipes. They might bottle it for family and friends. Maybe they go a couple times, they sell it at a farmer's market or something. Obviously, if Whole Foods says we're interested, that totally changes the game for you, which I was going to ask you how you got so much retail distribution, but I'm guessing having Whole Foods as your first buyer probably helped.
Absolutely. So Whole Foods sort of lends a seal of legitimacy or sort of approval to your product.
When Whole Foods first came to you, did they give you any kind of volume projections? I mean, that can be a daunting task going from kind of zero to now having to supply. I mean, did they give you a small amount of stores to start, or how did it all start? Because, getting into a big account like that can be good, but it can also put some people out of business.
Yeah, absolutely. Initially I was working with a small co-packer that definitely could not handle Whole Foods types volumes, but I had been preparing ahead, and I partnered up with a co-packer in Texas. They're the 9th largest salsa brand by volume. And no, Whole Foods didn't give me any volume projections. They really don't do that to new companies. They sort of say, we'll put in a PO, and if it sells, we'll keep ordering it. If it doesn't, you're on your own.
I mean, do they tell you what stores you're going into so you might be able to help support that distribution?
Right. So we got picked up by the Mid-Atlantic region, which has about 55 stores. And we've since expanded into another region with Whole Foods. So we're about 110, 120 out of their 450-ish stores. We're about 25% of the Whole Foods right now.
And how did you finance this in the very beginning when they started ordering product and you were getting this distribution?
So initially financed it, just bootstrapping the company, got a little bit of friends and family to invest. And from there, we've just kept it really, really small, doing everything through friends and family. And now we're doing equity crowdfunding through Republic. So that's been very instrumental to helping us grow. We decided to do that rather than go the normal VC route, partly because since we are a CPG company, we wanted to have that sort of connection with the consumer. And if you invest in Salsa God, then you sort of have this like affinity, you want to help it grow. So we think that by allowing, just normal retail investors into this, we're going to create thousands and thousands of brand ambassadors.
Absolutely, because now they don't just have salsa, they've got a story.
Right.
That they can tell it when they're serving the salsa, they can say, and I own a part of this.
Absolutely. I think that's really cool. How often do you get to say that? Like, hey, look,
this is my company.
This is my company.
People don't get emotionally attached to, the Frito-Lay chips that they serve, even if they own stock in the company. But obviously, at a much smaller level, and it's not a multi-billion-dollar company just yet, they might actually feel a connection to you.
Absolutely. And they can, be proud of the fact that they're helping a small business, a startup grow and to, hopefully get to a much larger company.
So have you heard of the Food God by any chance? Do you Jonathan Chebin, are you familiar with him?
Yeah, the Instagram.
Right.
Yes, I have.
And so I'm just wondering if, Salsa God food, Jonathan is an associate. We do business with him. We're actually developing a line of food products for Jonathan right now. And he's from day one on the Kardashian show. I know he's got millions of followers. I had lunch with him in New York recently, and he was definitely a well-recognized celebrity, running around the restaurant kind of thing, So, I don't know what branding he's going to be using completely, but I'm just thinking Salsa God, Food God, maybe there's some kind of connection here. You've never had any conversations though, I assume?
No, I haven't had any conversations with him, but that's definitely something that, as we move forward, we're definitely looking to begin influencer marketing and sort of get more digital marketing out there. If you can put us in touch, that'd be fantastic.
I noticed that on the website, obviously there's the mention of the crowdfunding equity opportunity and obviously lots of details about the product, but the product is all about where they can go to buy it, which is all retail shelf space. Any direct-to-consumer marketing in the future?
Any direct-to-consumer marketing?
Or sales, like for the ability someone to buy direct through you or driving people to the store to go get it.
Yeah, so absolutely. We experimented doing Amazon, doing their Fulfilled by Amazon program, but Amazon doesn't touch glass, so it just was too much dealing with packaging and bubble wrapping to do our shelf-stable salsa. We just released our chips and salsa combo pack, which is right here. And this we're going to be putting on Amazon. We're going to be doing this direct to consumer, and we're going to be opening up e-commerce on our website. This is much easier, and there's no issues with any breakage or anything like that.
What does that retail for?
Well, we'd like to hit our suggested retail price is $3.49, but it just depends on what outlet it's in. So, in the one store's got it at $2.99, and then if you look at, Hilton Hotels has it in one of their stores, one of their hotels here in New York, their Midtown location, they've got it at $6.99, and it still moves there. So $4.49 we think is a sweet spot, $3.99 just depending on what the retailer margins are.
Right. Where do you see the company going? I don't know if you've laid out projections for the next, like 2020 and beyond. Have you put any kind of projections out there yet?
Right. So as far as overall sales, we think we pretty much are going to safely double our sales from last year. So we're just going to be around 750,000 this year, and that's in our shelf stable alone. We're going to be diversifying our products. So we have the chips and salsa combo pack here. And I have some big meetings set up with a large truck store. They have 8,000 stores in their chain. We've got some interest from an airline. So, if any of these things hit with the combo pack, that could easily be, a 7-figure account. And we're also going to be adding our line of fresh salsas, which we think there's definitely a consumer trend towards moving away from the perimeter of the store and moving towards the perimeter of the store and away from the center aisle. So for fresher foods. So we think that there's a good market for fresh salsa. And that if we can capture some of that, we think we could, anywhere from double to quadruple our revenue next year.
There are obviously other salsas on the market. What makes you different?
So we do a couple of things differently. All our products are non-GMO project verified, so there are no GMOs. We use lime juice instead of vinegar. There is no artificial ingredients or artificial preservatives. And one of the really unique things is there are no onions. So I'd say 99% of salsas out there have onions, and when I was creating the recipes, I just wasn't big into onions, so there's no onions in our salsa. We also have a couple of unique flavors. We've got one that I'm just releasing now, and it's a sriracha salsa. I think that's the only sriracha hot sauce flavored salsa on the market.
Great. And so on your Amazon business, you mentioned you had some hurdles. Now you're getting organized and maybe getting close to launch. Is that a done deal? Because I have some very powerful connections in the Amazon space. I was just wondering if is it finished, or is it still an opportunity to talk to you about Amazon?
No, there's definitely an opportunity to talk to us about Amazon. I was just going to put it up on, through their FBA program. And
So you were doing it yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. Because where are you based, Danny? What city?
So I'm here in New York City, but the company's operations are primarily in Fort Worth, and now with the addition of my tortilla chip line, we've got a manufacturer out in Las Vegas as well.
Okay. So Seth, I think, I know we got lots of great ideas as we come out of these podcasts, but I have a son, 31. He's Brian Harrington, lives in New York also. We need to get you guys together and explore a couple things because, between Food God, all the other things we're launching, what you're doing, our Amazon connections, I think there's some great possibilities here for us to help build your business. And also as you go, obviously, yes, you're raising capital on Republic, and that's great. How has the raise been going so far for you there?
So Republic and the raise has been great. The team over there at Republic, I'm very happy that they found me at Natural Products Expo West. I think we're at around 175,000 out of max million, but I think I'm going to cut off the spigots at 600,000, and we still have about 120 days left to raise. We've been seeing some our capital really started to accelerate after a few posts that Republic did about me and about the company. So we've been really pleased with them. And, I'm, as a first-time sort of crowdfunding person myself, I'm very happy with the overall experience.
Super. Great. Well, I think, the bottom line is we're in the distribution business also and love to explore that separate and apart from giving you some great exposure here today on our podcast. But yeah, because so you said you're at the 750, is that this year, 2019, or is that 2020 projection?
That's projection for 2019.
For 2019.
He's counting the end of the year.
Gotcha.
Because I would imagine your holiday sales will be a significant percentage of your volume.
I think those Salsa God chip kits would make killer holiday presents.
Yes, stocking stuffers, absolutely.
Yeah. And like, for example, QVC, we've been doing business up there since 1986. They're up in Philadelphia. They're huge with food. They do billions of dollars of food annually now. And, Tony Little, for example, I've done all of Tony's fitness infomercials from the Ab Isolator, the Gazelle. Tony's crushing it with food. He's selling bison, burgers and steaks and jerky and low carbohydrate pastas and high protein cheesecakes. And that's just one guy, but they have huge, from crab cakes to steaks to pretty much every category. And so we're in discussions with Food God there. The opening orders there can be I mean, let's not say opening orders are generally in the $50,000 to $100,000 range, but then from there, I mean, we'll get a reorder of, a $2-3 million reorder sometimes if something goes well. And that's just one order. So, I mean, the potential to do massive sales, if we can get something rolling on a QVC, for example, which then can help fuel Amazon and some of the other things too, could be great potential here. So, love to get you into some meetings as soon as possible.
That sounds fantastic.
All right, before we wrap up, Ray, any last comments?
No, I want to try your salsa. I wonder if you're in Whole Foods here in Florida yet.
No, we're not in Florida yet.
We'll make sure we ship you some, Ray.
Me too.
All right, salsa
By the way,
for
I like
everybody.
the no onion. I'm not a big onion guy. It just leaves me with a bad taste. I pick the onions out of my salsa. So I like the direction you're taking, and great to meet you. Look forward to following up.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Great show. We've been talking here with Danny of Salsa God. You can learn more about both the product and the crowdfunding equity offering at salsagod.com. Or if you're just interested in the equity offering, check them out on the Republic platform. Ray, Kevin, Ben, Danny, thanks so much for joining us.
Great.
Guys, good seeing everybody. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.